of the more historical rivalries in all of football. Bears versus Packers in Soldier Field. Look at Caleb Williams getting ready to go. Of course, made the OC change. Let's see how it plays out. Third quarter.
He had to do that.
Go ahead, Dan.
He had to do that.
Swift.
We watched this one at Marcus's house last night. We called Marcus's house a hotel.
Yeah, it was. It was a gorgeous house. Let's go to the final quarter. Thanks for having us, Swagoo.
Very well.
Jordan Love to Christian Watson. This
play.
was just Christian Watson had an incredible game.
If Christian Watson can stay healthy, he is trending towards being like a legit NFL #1 wideout.
Hey, Swag, he had some yak there. Look at him.
Full of that yak.
Full of the yak.
What a
gain
yak.
of
Feeling
60
good.
yards. Final drive of the game is where we go here. Now, Caleb Williams, it's 4th and 3.
Nice.
Great. Finding Roma Dunze.
Why not give the first round 6'+ wide receiver a chance in one-on-one?
Now, here's where it gets controversial, okay? Decision-making by Matt Eberflus. The Bears have the walk-off opportunity, but the kick is blocked. So just like the Chiefs last week, Green Bay stills a win. Thanks to special teams, Matt LaFleur and the Packers go to 7-3 on the season. Here's more from Eberflus on the decision-making at the end.
They were loading the box there, so you could say you could do that for sure, maybe get a couple more yards, but you also risk, fumbling and different things there. We felt where we were, if we're at the 36 or 35, you're definitely doing that because you want to get it inside there. I felt very confident where we were at that time with the wind and where we were on the field.
You see Caleb Williams' reaction. RC, any issues there with how the end of the
Hell
game?
yeah, I got issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the dude in the scary movie that's running from the dude that's walking, but you trip because you so damn scared he gonna catch
That
up.
always happens every
Yeah,
time.
like you can't do that. Like when
scary movie.
when you get into that position, you got there because your quarterback on 3rd and 19 made a huge play because he made a back shoulder throw on 4th and 3. He was getting rushed and hit Keenan Allen. Now find a way to get the extra yardage to continue to put the foot on the gas and not put yourself in harm's way. There are ways to do that, and great coaches find those ways in order to win game, and they don't play not to lose them.
Guys, it just didn't bother me much.
Really?
I mean, listen, you line up for a field goal. Obviously, we know you could try to get more yardage and make it an easier kick. It's a makeable field goal. Your kicker has a history of making those field goals.
I was going to say, though, the Packers – sorry to interrupt you, but the Packers players were all like, we knew he kicks low field goals. Yeah. I'm watching that thinking, that's a well-coached team. They are prepared for this situation. They know this is coming, and they're going to do their best to block it. And it felt like that was a difference between the two teams.
I would disagree, Marcus. He's got a history of not making these field goals. Now, inside of 40, he's got a history of making them. There was a stat today I saw, like 100% inside of 40 yards.
But my mindset is this, bro. When you met Eberflus and you've been struggling anyway, right? And you thinking in your mind, I got a chance to win this game and walk off with a 46-yard field goal in the National Football League. And I get it. We sit here and we could talk about it today. But in that moment, you like, we can kick a field goal and win this game. I get all of the things that led up to it. But he's lining up for a 46-yard field goal to walk out of Lambeau Field with a win. And you just get blocked. Denver felt the same way last week. It wasn't a bad decision to make. I just didn't really have a visceral reaction to it.
I just also think we've gone through this with multiple teams. The Denver Broncos, the Cincinnati Bengals early on in the season. Like at some point, we're going to have to start looking at what Dan Campbell does in Detroit and say sometimes being the aggressor works.
Yeah,
but
I've seen that happen. Yeah, okay. Well,
3 out of every kick we've watched this year.
Here's the reality. Like, they have struggled, but there were some improvements yesterday with some of the changes. New offensive coordinator Thomas Brown calling plays. Caleb Williams kept throws short against the Packers. Nearly 75% of his throws were thrown less than 10 yards downfield. Williams also averaged his lowest time to throw in any game this season. Dan, did you see improvement from Caleb with a different OC?
That was Caleb's best game of the season and obviously best game of his career. 1, way less robotic. 2, less programmed, just looser. Yeah. And there was multiple moments when, again, a little bit like we've talked about with Josh Allen, it's not there, take off and run. And you saw that be a huge part. Now, credit Thomas Brown, the new play caller, but I thought he was so much more decisive and faster when it came to nothing there, go. And that allowed him to play just freer. And when I say less programmed, less robotic, we didn't see plays like this where he just got outside pocket and showed, okay, this is why you were the #1 pick. Take off. And we watched these very similar plays last week, and he was hanging in the pocket for 5 or 6 seconds. I was very much so. I think that's who Caleb Williams is going to be as a pro.
There was such a contrast last week between him and Drake May, right? Because Drake was the one just cutting and running, and it felt like Caleb was a sitting duck back there taking sacks. I do wonder if Thomas Brown, new offensive coordinator for the interim, got in his ear and said, man, you're an athlete. Because they also called designed quarterback runs for him, and it felt like those got his juices flowing. They were calling zone read for him.
And they got the ball to DJ Moore a couple times.
Got the ball to DJ Moore.
They took a shot to Romo
and it's funny because none of these things are like zone read, whatever. Yeah. Screen to DJ Moore. On its face, those are not game-changing calls, but they are both things you can do to instill confidence in your playmakers.
Dan, you said something last week. Take the thought process away from him.
Yep.
And that's exactly what he did this game. The second quarter was the run that when I knew a different offensive coordinator and a different player. This was the decisiveness you talked about and you mentioned. But this one here is one Caleb has taken a sack on or made a mistake all season long. And you look at how confident he was to get outside of the pocket, to use the zone read scheme. This was Caleb Williams, USC. Give me some space. Don't give me a lot of options and let me go be a playmaker. Sometimes you think that you handcuffing. You created a playmaker by taking that thought process.